Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you guys to a special edition of the Movie Fam's Horror Review. We're actually here with my guest. We got Simon Terrell from, he's the lead singer of Open Grave. Say what's up.
What's going on, guys?
And then over here, he's kind of became like the unofficial band manager slash groupie of the band. It's not an insult. I'd blow the entire band. Ian Hill. Ian, so what's up?
How's it going?
What's going on? You sound kind of familiar.
Nah.
No? Oh, okay. We'll move right along then. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about music and everything. I'm not going to lie, it's actually this guy's right here's idea because I know, like, you know, everybody sees me, they're like, Movie Phantom, clearly you must love death metal. Because, let's face it, every horror movie fan loves death metal. And that's not the case. Like, I'm just not big on death metal. So, anyway, he's like, I want to tell you more about it. And I was like, you know what? Do it on the fucking show, you know. He's going to sit here and just kind of give us a little heads up. But we're also going to do a couple reviews for you. We're also doing Devil's Rejects and Trick or Treat. So, we're going to keep with the whole music theme of the thing. So, alright, let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? Now, before we actually get officially started here, let's talk a little bit here. Now, last time we was actually doing the interview with you guys had 4 members, and you guys lost Brian recently. So just throwing it out there. I mean, looking for a replacement guitarist yet, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I think we're currently in writing mode right now.
Okay.
So I usually write everything. So for the time being, I'm not in a big rush.
Okay.
But we're writing in hopefully by February-ish, maybe. Here's some new Open Grave music.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be leaving the link to his YouTube right down below. So you guys check it out. If you're into death metal there and now, dude, it's top notch. I mean, it really is. It's up there with the, in my opinion. Now, once again, I mean, I know I'm not really a death metal guy, but
It's not straight death metal either. It's also groove metal. It's different. Once again, it's the whole horror-oriented thing too. Which is why I love Open Grave.
All right. So, okay, well, that's awesome. Well, guys, let's just kind of get into it. I guess the topic today is going to be basically the influence that horror movies have had on, not just necessarily metal, I guess, just music in general, I suppose. So, you know what? The floor is yours, man. Simon, go ahead.
I mean,
start us off here.
I think horror movies have had a pretty big impact on music over the years. More specifically, metal. I mean, that's probably what I'm going to touch on the most because that's what I'm the most familiar with. I know that there are hip hop groups that incorporate horror movies and stuff.
Brother Lynch Hung, that comes to mind right there.
I mean, if you really want to stretch, you see Insane Clown Posse and stuff like that, and the psychopathic.
It's funny you actually brought that up.
Families.
I was going to touch on it. But I didn't really want to, but
and I can honestly say that I'm not a fan of that. So, and that's not the reason I'm not going to talk much about it. More of it's just I'm not familiar with it. I don't know, enough to. I mean, Ian might be. I don't know.
No, wait. We've all went through that Juggalo phase. Now, come on, we can't pretend.
But I mean, I'm not that familiar.
I
I can't enough to like.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Stretch the conversation out about it.
Hard rock and metal is mostly what I'm going to touch on the most about, and and the biggest band that comes to my mind. Well, popular-wise, the biggest band that comes to my mind is obviously going to be White Zombie / Rob Zombie, that whole thing. And because it's just, there's no denying that Rob Zombie, the artist, the lyricist, the musician, I mean, he just lives, breathes, and sleeps and eats fucking horror. And listen to the Les Exorcisto album, the one that has Thunder Kiss 65 and Black Sunshine on it. I mean, that album is just, horror. I mean, it is. I mean, and
I think he was the first to integrate
horror
with music better than anyone else ever had.
Like, to literally put horror movie references in music. I mean, so you could go so far as to say that, Black Sabbath was influenced by a horror movie as far as when they looked across the street from the rehearsal space and seen the theater across the street was playing a movie called Black Sabbath, and they thought, well, that would be a pretty cool band name.
I actually didn't know that myself.
Oh, do you know?
And
we're all learning stuff today. That's the thing.
And their music is dark. and and I guess you could say scary and maybe even evil, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of horror movie references and stuff in it,
That's actually one thing I was going to touch on too. Is like there is horror movies that have integrated into music that actually straight take from movies and use excerpts in horror. Then there is just like horror music also.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is a different thing, but
Well, it's like with a band, a very very popular death metal band called Cannibal Corpse.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, they were the band featured in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective when he goes into the club to look for the guy. They're the death metal band playing on stage. There's not a whole lot of horror movie reference, but anybody out there could take the lyrics to any Cannibal Corpse song and write a horror movie to it. You know what I mean? All of their songs are a horror movie, and that's cool. I mean, I'm probably going to jump around a lot because this is off the cuff, unrehearsed, unscripted. And,
That's how we do things on the show. It's just how we do things.
And I don't want to ramble too much because my buddy here at Phantom was nice enough to let me do my little thing. And
oh, no problem. Thanks for coming on. I mean, that's the main thing.
Appreciate it. But me personally, I've always been into metal. Like always, my first favorite band I can remember back as far as I can. When I got old enough to comprehend and remember things, 1, 2, 3 years old. Metallica was the first band that I ever listened to in my entire life. Not a big fan now, but that's metal. That metal has always been there. And as I got older, I started getting into horror movies and stuff. And anytime I could find anything that combined the two, or at least music and metal that had a much darker element to it, rather than, because I wasn't really into like the lyrics and stuff about war and politics. It was people getting ripped apart and, just blood and guts and violence, and that's...
Well, that's kind of the sense of movies, too. I mean, you're not really into this, politics like that. You're more into blood, guts, and violence, so...
Absolutely. And, and I don't want to talk about it too much because this is not a commercial for Open Grave, the band, but, I wanted to bring that into my music that I did, and... Go ahead.
I think you did it lovely too. I mean, especially your actual movie choices. Some of your favorite movies you've brought into it, and and you made it work. And even the lyrics written for it. My favorite had to be Book of the Dead. One of them. Just a huge Evil Dead fan. Not a horror movie, yes. Funny as hell, also though. I mean, but that's the great. I mean, you don't. It's a sense of fantasy, but not really. You just like that kind of dark thing because some people turn away at it and shun at it, and that's why we kind of like it, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Ian? While we're kind of here, what kind of got you into music? Like, this kind of music right here.
Well, basically, I just grew up on Sabbath. I was Sabbath, Zombie, all of that. I'll never forget. 6 years old, I was sitting in the car and. It was White Zombie. It's sad to admit that I was 6 years old when Astro Creep came out from White Zombie. But man, I'll never forget More Human Than Human. The first 30 seconds is the girl moaning. The mom had to have Dad turn that shit down because it's point on. It sounds like a girl getting off, and I've loved it ever since then.
Not only does Rob Zombie rip samples from horror movies, he also has been known to rip samples from porno movies.
It's kind of funny you say that because I didn't quite make that connection that he was taking a lot of these samples from horror movies, and then years later I'll be watching like a horror movie like, holy shit, it's from the fucking song I know.
That's the thing. Like he's known horror movies.
After the line in the horror movie, then you're like the music.
There it is, exactly. Yeah. You're like, there it is. So yes, I love that too.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And there's another band. I really want to plug them a little bit. I want to use your time.
Oh no, go right ahead. Go right ahead. This is your guys' time right here.
From Ohio called Necrophagia. Death metal fans should already know who they are. I mean, they've been around since 1984, and are considered in probably the top 2 or 3 first ever death metal bands. Have been huge horror movie band. My absolute favorite band when it comes to horror movies and stuff. I mean, they have it down pat. Song titles, lyrics, their music videos are horror movies. And I don't know how to but they do it so well, and it just flows so perfectly. And so I just have to say that, like, you know,
Necrophagia, I'll say, okay, a lot of bands, use excerpts, and, it's got horror movie themes in it. Necrophagia, actually, the whole song, it flows together like it is absolutely one piece of horror.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
and I mean they've got, I'll bring it up just because again, I'm trying to, and I realize that I'm probably talking to a lot of people who aren't familiar with, obscure death metal and stuff. Philip Anselmo, lead singer for Pantera, wrote and played guitar on 2 Necrophagia albums, and if you want to listen to an album and you're listening to it, and not the lyrics or the samples or anything, but the music just makes you feel dirty,
That's
disgusting,
what I was
like
uncomfortable.
It's the most raw, sickening sound I think that's ever came out of a CD or an MP3. The music itself is almost a horror movie. If I can, if I think that album would still be great if it was instrumental, because I mean it is disgusting, and I mean that in the most positive way possible. So I'm sorry to do this, but if you get a chance, check out Necrophagia's Holocausto de la Morte and the follow-up EP Black Blood Vomitorium. And
lovely titles, by the way. I'm digging the titles.
For fans of horror movies and metal, they're must-haves. And actually any album from them, but those 2 in particular.
Big fan here.
Okay, let me just ask this question then. Because once again, I ain't gonna lie, like, I was shocked to find out there's like a shitload of subgenres of metal. Like, to me, just metal's metal, but you ask any other fan, right? No, there's a
there's
distinct
an
difference.
onslaught, like horror grind and
So,
all that.
Oh, yeah.
what is the main difference, I guess, between this like mainstream metal and death metal exactly?
Oh, wow,
if you had to, tell me.
Now, what are we saying is mainstream metal?
Like, I guess, like, to me, like, Rob Zombie is metal, whereas it's not considered death metal, correct?
Wait, you're saying mainstream metal, but
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess what I'm looking for. Just
but
metal.
see,
It's like
it's
just metal.
so. It just depends on who you ask. Like
Well, I'm asking you. We'll say
I would say that
your
I'm more of
opinion.
a traditionalist when it comes to metal, and a little more hardcore about it. Like, I would tell you to your face, if I could see
you are
your
right
face,
now.
that Rob Zombie is not metal.
Wow.
Rob Zombie is like electronic, industrial, alternative, hard rock. And
White Zombie was
evolved into just more straight rock.
Okay.
yeah, I can see it, kind of like horror rock, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it's grooving. You want to move to it.
Has kind of a popular beat to it and everything.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but I mean it's still horror all in one. But
Okay, so what would you consider like a straight metal then? Like, what would be?
Megadeth or something like that.
Okay.
Metallica.
So there's between like straight metal and then death metal then, I guess. So what's the difference?
Death metal is a lot of what defines death metal is the vocal style itself.
Okay.
The
Which is
low, deep, guttural. How I explain to people that are completely oblivious to death metal, they would say that Slipknot's death metal, and they don't have a fucking clue what death metal is when you say it. I say imagine the fastest, heaviest music you can think of, just fast drums and chainsaw guitars, and a grizzly bear as their lead vocalist.
That makes sense.
A lot of people call it Cookie Monster vocals.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's what really defines death metal. But then again, lyrically, death metal definitely focuses more on death, gore, horror movies, just horrible things in life.
Okay.
And,
the unpleasant side of things.
Dark
exactly.
side,
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Death metal is a lot of times wrongly accused of being highly satanic. Now there are some satanic death metal bands. There's
Black
Vital
metal,
Remains.
yeah,
There's
really they call
Deicide.
They call
Which I
that
do
black
like
metal,
Deicide.
though, right?
Well, I was going to get there, but
Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead. Jump ahead.
Jump the gun,
Go
man.
for it,
Jump
go
the
for it,
gun.
perfectly cool.
That's what the show's for, We're
And then you got black metal, which is more. The vocals are more of a high-pitched shriek, a lot of screaming, a lot of musically it's a little very similar. Lyrics focus more on
Hating God.
Satanism, pagan themes, nature themes,
Now Mayhem would be considered
Black metal.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Norse and like Greek mythology even. I mean, like, just, and to tell you the truth, maybe even a little bit more intelligent lyrical writing
A lot
style.
of it's more mythological things.
Fantasy,
yeah.
dark fantasy, I guess you say. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm not trying to make a joke.
Here it goes.
A lot of black metal bands,
Uh-huh.
Lord of the Rings,
But
huge. A lot. If you look at black metal band names, black metal, the musicians' stage names, a lot of them are Tolkien
related
characters
in
in
the realm. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've never even looked into this. I mean, even Led Zeppelin had songs about that whole thing.
Well,
I mean, not even. I know they're nowhere on this.
Oh
thing,
yeah.
But I mean, I was just touching on the whole Lord of the
Zeppelin can
Rings.
go anywhere they want. I'm supposed to say that right
Mythology-
now.
Really?
If we're doing reggae, I'm fucking bringing Zeppelin here. If we're doing rap, I will bring Zeppelin.
Zeppelin
in
was
here.
was an
Zeppelin's
absolute,
great.
undeniable, huge influence on metal. So I mean,
There you go.
John Bonham was a badass drummer.
I guess. I mean,
For what he had.
Whoa,
He only used a single kick, right?
All right.
Okay.
We're getting off topic. We'll go back. We'll have the battle royale
I'm sorry.
later. So.
I'm sorry in advance for the,
We can
the
make
hate
this.
mail you're gonna get.
We can make this a 4-hour-long
and
show.
the
if
hate
we really want
video
to.
responses that you're gonna get.
From both camps.
My
so.
opinion is of no way, shape, or form
reflected.
affiliated with the movie Phantom. When I say that, fucking not a big Led Zeppelin fan. Respect for Led Zeppelin for what they did.
I'm not really. Yeah, I've heard it way too much.
Yeah. But anyways, back to what.
Back to
what
it, you know.
Yeah.
The agenda here.
I mean,
so.
what else do you want to know? Man?
I guess. Well, give me some of your favorite bands. Let's just go through this.
Well,
thing.
I mean, my favorite band of all time is Pantera. I mean, absolute all-time Pantera. Like, I mean,
You got that.
there's no question about it. I mean, I can't tell you why. I mean, I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah.
it's heavy, grooving, fucking angry, fucking
I think it's
metal.
installed at a young age that we just
Oh, yeah.
loved it. We were angry teenagers or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what it was, but it's
Yeah.
just continued.
And now I'm
Still
an
angry. I'll say,
30-year-old.
angry. Yeah. That shit don't change.
You just don't seem that angry to me.
Well,
Until you get on stage, and then
Yeah.
you seem just pissed.
It's a
and
metamorphosis.
Ruthless.
You know, you gotta get into character.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, what about you? Some favorite metal bands, I guess.
Well, I'd have to agree, man. Number one is Pantera, absolutely. But White Zombie would have to be number two. I mean, they didn't really have that many
My
albums.
second favorite album of all time, Los
Los
Exorcisto.
Exorcisto, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I can listen to that any day, like
Yeah.
all the way through.
All the way through.
But I hate to say that. White Zombie, they had what, 2 official albums?
Yeah.
But
Pretty much, yeah.
huge fan, still always will be. I do like some of Rob Zombie's. Okay, I do love Rob Zombie's.
I'll
stuff.
say you can't say
Love it all.
something.
I'm a big zombie fan still.
Yeah.
Man, some more
Best
bands.
stage show you'll ever see in your life.
I'm actually into a lot of one guy's band. I mean, he's had 4 or 5 bands, and this is actually where I was touching on the horror music and not like horror movie music. Is there's a few bands, Dog Fashion Disco. He's not a big fan, but Polka Dot Cadaver. It's all the same lead singer, Todd Smith. Knives Out, a little more heavier side. See, Dog Fashion Disco's. It's that whole serial killer theme. He talks about unpleasant subjects. It covers everything. It's really dark.
It's like death metal lyrics with just like a rock singer.
Yeah, well, he has a range of vocals,
I will say,
and he just.
I'm not a fan. I'm gonna have to bust his
But
balls.
yeah, of course, but a huge fan, and it's all horror.
He's another one that he
oriented.
can paint a picture in your head with his
Absolutely.
lyrics. I
They
mean,
actually had an album called Adultery, and if you listened to it from beginning to end, I mean, if you close your eyes, it literally reminds you of just like an old 50s kind of
Film noir, yeah.
suspense horror film, and it truly does portray that in your mind.
Yeah.
You actually see.
See, when a band can do that, like I was saying about those Necrophagia albums. I mean, when a band can make you, when you just
visualize
Yeah.
that's amazing to me.
yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, I probably won't be alone on this one because it's not considered metal. But Marilyn Manson, I'm a big fan of him, and it's because of the same thing. I think he can create that picture in your head.
I guess we didn't mention that because it's like needless to say. I mean, we've all loved Manson at one point.
Loved.
I think I agree with him though because those last 3 albums.
well,
suck.
I don't
Antichrist
really-
Superstar is awesome. It is
Yeah.
a
He died
masterpiece.
after. He should have died after Hollywood. No
I'll agree
offense.
with that. I'll agree with
But
that.
the 3 albums, Mechanical Animals, Antichrist Superstar, and Hollywood,
We're
were
top notch.
pretty much. I think they're masterpieces
Yeah,
to myself.
yeah.
They really were great albums. all the way through.
Now
Not a Mechanical Animals fan.
Yeah, I was saying we talked
you
before
don't,
about
you don't
this.
really like the whole digital side.
Yeah,
of it,
I'm really narrow-minded too. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
it had more of a glam rock twist to it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it
didn't
was
like
rock.
that.
It was
Yeah,
more
it
rock
really
than
was. Yeah, it
anything.
wasn't metal. I mean, it was
a lot more electronic, which he despises. I understand that.
I don't despise it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
do.
Rob Zombie fan.
Yeah, but that's because like it's rooted in you that you're a Rob Zombie. That you're a White Zombie.
I was saying-
I like,
What,
I like
like,
Ministry.
Well, that's like the one exception.
Newer Ministry.
Yeah.
What's wrong with older ministry?
Well, they were
Jesus Built My Hot
a
Rod.
lot
Never
more
heard that?
electronic. Now they're
You've never heard Jesus Built My Hot Rod?
I've
Check
never
it out,
heard.
guys. It's great.
All right, I'll probably actually get hate mail on me. It's like, you know, why the fuck do you know more about this music shit right here? So,
You watch the movies, we listen to the music.
Yeah,
He does both.
yeah, this guy does do both. But yeah, no, yeah, definitely more. Yeah, I heard it's all right. I've literally done it myself like 3 times. So
The Phantom is definitely more like whatever's on the radio.
Wow! I am. I'm not gonna
How's that
lie.
new Papa Roach?
Ouch! Ouch! Oh, I'm getting stung up. Oh, man.
He's not a
That's
mortal
the, that's the
man.
thing. When I first met this guy and a few other dudes, you know, they're all metalheads, and I thought I was too. I was like, metal? I'm down with like Papa Roach, Linkin Park, fucking Korn, and they're just looking like I'm a fucking retard.
serious?
I'm not joking. I'm just like,
We're
what?
done. Nice to see you
And
guys.
I'll stand by. Like, I still love those bands, but apparently it's called new metal. What the fuck is that? That's bullshit.
No,
Really,
it's
wrong.
definitely not.
It's a dirty word in the metal community. If I'm like, not like new metal, everyone's like,
Yeah, I
"Get
kind
the
of
fuck out of here."
I
You know,
cringe.
it's-
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It hurts.
System of Down. I'm a huge
Okay,
System
I'm
fan.
a huge System fan.
Yeah.
I like their first album a lot.
Whichever
a
one.
lot.
I like Toxicity. That's the one I'm big on. I like that.
I like
But again,
them all.
that first album, that first System of a Down album, is dark.
Yeah.
It is dark as fuck. In Toxicity, they got a little more poppy, a little more. I don't know. I think the Toxicity is a little happier.
Really? See, I gotta disagree. It's,
Actually,
when I was younger, I didn't like it
Are
because
we-
it was too political. That's
are we
why.
gonna get off
Well,
base and talk about System?
We
Or-
can.
No,
I mean,
That's
I
fine.
just-
Okay.
Oh, no,
Because I can talk all day. I love System of a
That's
Down.
what we're
Yeah.
doing. We're
yeah,
just
no,
talking,
it's
right?
music. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just talking about it. It's good.
All right, all right.
But yeah, actually, huge System of a Down fan. Everything they've ever done. Actually, the last 2 albums, I think those were absolute.
Still, that was the last one I listened to. And
Really?
Yeah, I've been out popular
Hypnotized
music
and
for a long time.
Mesmerized were great pieces of music, both of them. And they actually, when you talk, okay, I guess it was lyrically maybe a little more darker the first album, but the last 2 albums were,
I think lyrically, I just think musically, the
it was raw, is what it was.
the production quality
Rough.
and everything was like. I mean, I don't know.
Cleaner, more mainstream, I guess.
Well, no, on the first album.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it was.
But you're talking about the newer ones that you're saying it's more cleaned
Yeah.
up, more.
I mean, they've had an
Yeah,
album in like
fucking-
10 years now, but
I mean, it's the song "Spiders." I mean, it's so. I mean, it's such a mellow like. You want to fucking like smoke weed, listen to it, but it's so dark and like it's a good ass fucking song. I mean, and I think that kind of brings it back around to what we're originally talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the darkness in music. And I mean, I know maybe you want to stick more toward horror movies, but I mean,
No,
it's
we're,
just,
you're right, man. It's cool. Yeah, this is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. We're taking a break from the movies slightly for right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be metal. I mean, just horror music, you know, or horror movies influence on music and just
Well, I
the
mean,
dark
I'm glad
side of
we
music.
brought up because, like I said, all I can talk about really is metal stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So Backstreet Boys, you're just not going to talk about at all. We can't.
oh, it's horrible. And
to,
it,
to us,
and-
see, that's actually opposite. To us, that shit's horror.
when I said that
Yeah,
the necrophagia stuff was disgusting in a positive way,
To
well,
other
Backstreet
people,
Boys is like
that actually
disgusting
makes you
in
feel-
a fucking
yeah.
like the most negative possible way.
Yes. So, anything else to add to this before?
Not really. I mean, I just don't. I don't. I don't know.
All right. Ian, anything else to add to the music discussion before we move on to the movie?
I don't know. I guess all your fans out there, if you haven't really checked out much horror music, I'll just make it a general term. Check out some of the bands we've named if you like horror movies and don't know what kind of music you like. If you need,
Well, I mean,
some fresh.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, here's the
Check
thing.
it out.
I mean, if you guys
Check
don't
out
mind me-
Mortician. Also great, very raw, very low tuned, very badly produced, disgusting, sick horror movie death metal band. Mortician.
Well, if you guys don't mind this one, I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. I'm gonna ask you if you don't mind. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it
I
anyway.
mean, we won't mind. We
All
don't
right.
care.
you know, on my Facebook page, on my fan and friends out there, I only got like 2 people watching anyway, so you guys are good.
Yeah.
You know, these actually are 2 friends on the Facebook page. Ian Hill, and then he's under Open Grave. So you guys ever just want to talk music with these guys?
Check out Open Grave.
These guys are fucking, you know, they know their music. I mean, for sure. Like where I'm at with movies, he's right. These guys are with music. So I mean, definitely. Any questions? Want to just talk shop with them? These are the ones that do it right here. So
I comment on his videos sometime under the name Get Up and Kill on YouTube. So you can find me through there too.
And once again, I mean, I'll have your link right down below, so you guys can check out his stuff right down there.
Down where?
I feel left out. I don't have a link.
Oh, this guy.
Link.
You can still do this though. So there we go. We're boom. We're bringing it back.
I can't believe I just did that.
Well, you know what? I think we all just go ahead. We'll put a bow on the music aspect of it, and you know what? We'll do it. So let's go ahead and we'll get to some reviews, shall we? Now, like I said, we were picking the 2 movies we try to go.
No top
music
3
theme.
or anything this time.
No top 3.
No top 3.
No top 3. No news. Yes, we'll be back next week with our regular, you know.
I watched the Evil Dead trailer today for the remake.
What'd you think?
Looks all right.
Actually, you know what? When I first saw that they were remaking it,
we're going to talk some news.
Oh, you're bringing some news in there.
I was kind of disgusted a little bit when I first said they were remaking Evil Dead because
me too.
Everybody was. Everybody was.
It's hard to remake that. It's a fucking classic. Bruce Campbell, come on, man. But I did watch the trailer, and I guess what's his name? The original director?
Sam
Raimi and Bruce Campbell actually have something to do with the movie.
They're producing it, and rumor has it, I guess like Sam Raimi is just fucking directing it. Like they got like a different guy who's directing it. But from what I'm hearing,
he's just taking over.
Like literally, Sam Raimi's just like, here, get the fuck out of the way.
That's good.
What's up with this writer?
And the fucking this is where I've explained these guys before. Diablo Cody, the cunt
is that really
who
his name?
wrote that's a girl stripper.
Oh,
she's a cunt. She sucked dick to get to where she's at today. Who won an Academy Award? I hope she does, dude. I will bust her. I get 3 punches. All right, I get 3 free punches. Where if I meet these people, I don't care what the fuck. I'm fucking decking them.
You tell them you're punching.
And Diablo Cody's one of them. I get to punch her. I literally
top 3, man.
I mean, there's a top 3 regardless, I guess.
6 billion people in the world,
but you know, like some people you hate, and you're just like,
yeah.
You know, slam with this guy. I fucking hate that guy. You're like, well, I ain't gonna let it bother me. I walk away. These 3 people, yeah, dude, I'm gonna fucking just beat the fucking shit out of them. I mean, I'm not a violent person. I will literally just swing on these motherfuckers.
He's actually getting worked up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, calm down a little bit here. Yeah, thank you. I'm down.
I guess you brought up Texas Chainsaw 3D as well.
Art brought it up too, as well. Yeah.
I haven't been following the show in a while.
Well, this guy don't even watch the show.
I didn't even. Texas, what's this? 3D.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw 3D coming out in January.
What are they doing to horror movies?
It's a direct sequel to Part 1, the original.
Really?
They've done that before. They tried it with
Chainsaw 2 is the shit. If you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, fucking watch that. It's Bill Moseley.
Yes.
Yeah, fucking Dennis
Dog Will Hunt.
Yep. Dude, watch that. That is, I mean, again.
Next Generation?
Yeah, and perhaps if you ever have a themed episode about horror comedy stuff,
yeah,
Texas Chainsaw 2, you know, ranks up there with good fucking horror comedy mixed movies, dude. It's awesome. Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, I was gonna say, like, you know, one of my favorite ones is actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, and it's a bad movie. I'll admit it. It's a bad movie. I love it. Like,
Matthew McConaughey owned that fucking movie.
One of his best roles ever, dude. Like,
he should have won awards for that
shit. No shit, dude. It's great. And he takes the shittiest script, and he makes it work for him only, though.
Renee Zellweger can fucking
fuck her. And everybody around him's failing, but dude, he's fucking rocking, dude. He's just like, I'm a rock star.
That was his first movie, but they
shelved it.
They made him wait, and they released Dazed and Confused first.
Yeah,
so and that could be his debut.
His image.
Well, not just that, but it was one of those things where like they both kind of started rising up. Him and Renee Zellweger both did, and they're like, "Oh shit, we got this other movie back here," you know. And they threw it out there. And
stole him on the cover.
Yeah, that's all he did do. But
which we'll find out that's not the best selling point always in a movie here in a minute.
We'll look at that in a second. So, all right. So we decided we're going to try to have a musical tie-in. So we're all huge Rob Zombie fans. So we really hit what, dude, I go alphabetical order.
Well, I guess
that's the anal retentive part of me right there. But we figured Rob Zombie, and then of course let's face it, Ozzy Osbourne, Gene Simmons, right? On Trick or Treat. So the main star, the leads of Trick or Treat. You
just wait. After we get done doing this 4-hour review of Devil's Rejects.
I think it's more entertaining to pick apart movies than it is to review the good ones.
It really is. I mean, it really will be. We'll probably do this in like 2 minutes. Like, it's fucking great. And
What if you say it's awesome?
Yeah, I mean, that's the fucking review for Rejects, dude. It is fucking great.
Fantastic. Watch it over
And it ain't
and
got
over.
nothing to do with Rob Zombie. I mean, it does because he directed it and wrote it and shit, but it is a fucking awesome movie.
Yes.
All right, next.
As we're getting into the review here, we do have Devil's Rejects, which is a sequel, pseudo-sequel, to House of a Thousand Corpses, in which basically we're following the exploits of the Firefly clan as they're escaping justice. You know what? Let's just start on this side of the room. Ian, go ahead and give us a review of the Devil's Rejects.
Great. That's it. No, man, oh god, when I first watched it in theaters, I mean, it was probably the day it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Opening scene. I mean, what else? If you like horror and you like shit that just makes you uncomfortable, dead body, dragging through the woods.
Yeah.
What else can you say about that? I mean, even to us who we love that disgusting side of things, you're still watching in a theater, room full of people, and your jaw is still just like, really dead naked shit being dragged through the woods. Fantastic, great, best opening scene ever.
Well, actually, you know, it's funny you say that too, because actually at the time when this came out, I worked at the theater. Now, I was like the oldest person there, clearly. Like, I was in my early 20s.
Movie fan had a job?
Movie fan had a job outside this thing. I wasn't just always a movie fan. I mean, it's the horrible mistakes
Things
I've
are better
made.
now,
Yes, they are. Yes, they are better. Anyways, but, you know, I was like, you know, my early 20s. But everybody who worked there were like fucking kids, right? We're talking like 16, 17-year-olds. So we're all like, you know, Devil's Reject. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Can they even,
and so here I am.
even watch that movie?
There wasn't supposed to, I don't think, but, you know.
Daniel got it.
The Phantom. Yeah. But the Phantom definitely, you know, he worked it out for him. But anyways, the scene in the motel room, probably the most uncomfortable. Because here I am with all these underage kids, basically. I'm just like, wow, this a rape's going down for sure. And sure enough, you know, and I'm just like.
Well, it wasn't your normal average rape.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But, no.
If you haven't seen it by now.
Yeah. We don't spoil it too much. These fuckers have already seen it. You kidding me? When it comes to what about you? Go ahead. You got anything to add? Devil's Rejects.
Got some of your pussy stank on my gun. Open up the rest of the barrel.
Yes. That's the thing. It's the dark. Here's what I truly love about this movie: the fact that. Okay, you know most
Was that
horror
your
movies.
review of it? I hope.
I don't know.
That was it.
Pussy stank on my gun.
It's written out in the newspaper. That's the last line right there.
I really don't know what else to say about it. It's shocking.
Well, here's what I think is great about this is, you know, I do hate when most fans are just like, well, when I watch Halloween, I root for Michael Myers. Bullshit. You do not, because you do want, you know, you want Jamie Lee Curtis to get out of the house. You are rooting for the people. However,
I'm glad you,
in this movie, you are rooting for this, and these guys
not at first.
You're right.
You're like, oh my god, these are sick, disgusting people.
And then about
holy shit,
that was how well fucking written.
Exactly.
And he just turns
turning
around.
point, and you're laughing with them. You're even the most
Because
sickest
William
thing.
Forsythe becomes the bad guy.
He goes from being the good guy, trying to walk the line, trying to bring these killers, these sick fucks to justice, and somehow midway through it, they just swap. And I think what's good about this, and I guess you can kind of tie this to Texas Chainsaw as well, it shows family values.
Tutti fucking fruity.
I mean, literally, you see like a structured family there. They're fucked up, I'll grant you that, but it is almost like you're just like, you can kind of relate to this.
I mean, there's no doubt that, I don't want to say ripoff, but there's no doubt there's Texas Chainsaw influence.
Oh,
that's
is just a, yes.
Whenever I first watched it, that's actually the first thing. Well, I mean, I don't know if he actually took it from there, if he just took the whole family values. You know, this is the whole family together out in the middle of nowhere.
House of Thousand Corpses, like, man, this is
Texas Chainsaw, man.
This is the Texas Chainsaw family without Leatherface.
Yeah. And so, like I say, I mean, even after you're seeing them do horrible shit, you start rooting for them. And at the end of the movie where they're being tortured, you're actually hoping they get out somehow. And you start thinking like, dude, these people just raped and murdered their way to this final scene. And yet it's almost like Alex in A Clockwork Orange. How literally the dude does the most horrible shit, and yet you're on his side. You're rooting for him, and at the end you're like, wow, this dude just like crippled a dude and raped his wife, and you're just like...
Rob Zombie's favorite movie?
Yeah. One of mine too, I ain't gonna lie. It's definitely one of mine. Love you, it's brilliant. But yeah, you know, it's that stuff right there. This guy don't do British stuff hardly. Like he's not. You haven't seen Clockwork Orange, have you?
You have not seen A Clockwork Orange? Okay, we won't even touch on
We
that.
won't-
We'll talk about that off camera.
No, but it doesn't. It's a fringe movie. It's on the fringes horror. I mean, horror
Stanley
fans love it.
Kubrick. It's weird,
Yeah.
mind, psychological things.
It's awesome. But we're not talking about that. We're going back to those rejects.
Yeah, I love the
I think everything I love
Shining
about this is how this is almost like the first movie that kind of brought back that 70s grindhouse
Exactly,
look.
dude.
After this, you had Hills Have Eyes, which really, Hostel. They all kind of
I don't
tried
have to do my review
and-
anymore. You guys.
But yeah, I mean, literally though, I mean, it brought
The look
it back.
and the feel of the movie was my.
It was
greatest-
great.
I was gonna say the same thing, and you're probably gonna comment on it. Is the whole? It's set in the '70s, man, and like I have no idea about that
But I mean,
generation.
I've seen movies of all genres that are set in the '70s, but they look like they were filmed in 2010.
Yeah, mainstream. Like Amityville Horror, the remake is the best example. It's supposed to be like 1978, and yet it has this crisp, clean,
Yeah.
fucking Hollywood look. And I'm like, I hate it. That's why I don't get me wrong, I like the movie, but I hate the fact that it just looks very.
I mean, Zombie in Corpses and Rejects nailed that.
Yeah. Well, Halloween even kind of
Perfect.
has that kind
Yeah.
of gritty. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And that's one thing about Rob Zombie I am a big fan of. And the thing is, I can't believe how many haters he actually
April
has
26th.
online. Do what?
April 26th, Lords of Salem.
Boom.
Wow.
Right there. I've been talking about
Official
that
release date
hardcore on here. So, but the one thing that I gotta say about Zombie is his direction gets better with each movie. Now, if you don't like Halloween 2, whatever. But you cannot deny that the direction in that movie is fucking top notch. Like the dude's at the top of his game. He
I
keeps
like
getting-
H2 better than 1 because it was an
Nah.
original.
I
It was
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's.
like.
It's actually
yeah.
more of a-
One had some homages to the original.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a remake.
But it was-
2 was his
an
own,
original sequel.
Yeah,
to,
his
yes.
own fucking.
Now, see, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like. I don't think it's better. I think the first Halloween's.
Are we reviewing Rob Zombie or the Devil's
I
Rejects?
yeah, right now it's the Rob Zombie special right now. But
I mean, I'm down with that.
either way,
But I know you've already covered his Halloween.
but no, yeah, definitely. Like I said, if I had any gripes, and they're not a big gripe, but like if I had like one small gripe, and I mentioned this to you before, and we disagree on this. Now, I'm not a prude when it comes to language. It's not. I don't care. I just feel like the F word is thrown out a lot, especially that opening scene.
Shit, fuck,
the
shit,
one,
fuck.
Yeah, the one line where she's just like, I remember this like when you was a fucking baby. I'm like, I cringe when I hear certain lines.
Dude,
Now,
it's so
there are
real,
certain
though.
lines that I love.
I know families
Like my
that speak
favorite,
like
my
that.
favorite line. Well, the Phantom doesn't have a family. Phantom isn't a crypt.
I
I'm
know.
sorry. Maybe I need to,
Spawn from hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was spawned. I was spewed out from, whatever.
Satan's cock.
Satan's cock. He just money shot. And anyways, it does have some great lines. Like my favorite line in this movie is, "Boy, the next words out of your mouth better be some brilliant Mark Twain shit, because it is definitely getting children on your tombstone." Fucking love fucking Mark Twain shit. Yes,
Mark Twain shit.
love that, dude. I mean, it's brilliant. But like I said, if I had one gripe, and I think his writing gets worse as it progresses, though. Like Halloween 2, just that scene where she finds out she's Michael's sister, and she just says "fuck" like 30 times. I was like, really? Rob, you're better than this, buddy. Like, I'm hoping what it was.
But it is realistic.
It's real.
what do you do?
That's how I defend Rob Zombie's dialogue. Because that's the big bitch that everybody says. He's too much bad language.
It doesn't have to be this brilliant,
Because
thought
he-
out.
He writes too redneck. They say that all his
White trash.
characters
That's what they say,
are
white
white
trash.
trash. Fucking, but I mean, like,
It's fucking real.
I'm not debating that some
It's
stuff is
real,
real. I'm
dude.
just saying, if I had a small gripe.
Rob did
hey,
fucking keep
5
it.
stars.
He's
I'm
watching this.
10 out there. He is watching.
He is watching. Rob's
only
one
two
of the-
people watch the show: Rob Zombie and Michael Bay. And Michael knows how much I hate him, so I keep tuning in. He's like, "What's this fucker going to say about me next time?" But no, definitely. I mean, if anybody out there has not seen this, just literally put your dick in the toilet and just slam it, because seriously, this is fucking brilliant. You should have already seen this.
Come over, we'll give you our address, we'll punch you in
And
the face.
I'm gonna say this right here before we I kind of feel like we're wrapping it up here. I gotta say, the
there's
best.
nothing to say
No,
about
you're
it
right.
other
I mean,
than-
it's brilliant.
Just watch.
The best use of Freebird ever. The
Oh,
best
yeah.
use of Freebird ever. And dude,
I will say that.
this
I
Rob
hate that.
Zombie,
I hate
I hate that
Skinner.
band.
Hate it.
Rob Zombie knows how to do. Like, he's a music supervisor on all his movies. He knows how to pick a fucking soundtrack.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, literally, he doesn't just like pick like what will be the top 10 songs from the 70s. No, he has the songs that mean something to the scenes. And dude, when I heard the Freebird thing, I'm like, oh. And dude, when you hear the words as you're watching the final scene, you're like, dude, this is it. This is
perfect.
the only way. And I'm like, at that point, it no longer belongs to Leonard Skinner.
No.
It is now Devil's Rejects.
That's the thing. We've all grown up on those tunes, and even the James Gang, the scene where they first show the whorehouse. I've heard that song a million times, but now when I hear it, it's like, God damn, can't think of anything but Devil's Rejects anymore.
I mean, literally. So, but yeah, Devil's Rejects, definitely check it out. So yeah, I think we can move on.
All right, Trick or
well,
Treat.
here we go.
Yes.
The main event.
There it is.
Ding, 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 ding.
Up next we have
A masterpiece.
we got a movie about a young boy who is obsessed with this rock star named Sammy Kerr, and when that rock star dies,
He's a troubled teen.
Okay, I can relate a little bit.
Okay.
The dime back there.
we're gonna start on this side this time. So Trick or Treat, 1986, by the way. That was 2005. I can't remember if I said the dates or not. I usually say dates. 86. Trick or Treat. Go.
It's like everything we said about Rejects, but the opposite.
It's turning around.
Wow.
I mean, it is. It's just a cheesy.
Okay, before you even start, first off, it's deceitful.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
have to
yeah.
point this out. It has Gene Simmons, which I'm not really a big fan of Kiss, and Ozzy Osbourne on the case. So you think they're going to be in the movie?
See, here's the thing.
Continue. Oh.
Every kid who has grown up loving horror movies and has went to the video store fell for this fucking trick. Because literally, I was a kid going,
I own it.
oh my god, Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne in a movie? Holy shit. I rent it.
That's how the baby.
That's how baby fandom talk right there. That's literally had a mask, had this oversized hoodie. I was like, I'm gonna get this. It has Kiss and Ozzy in it. Let's do this. And yeah, you're really.
Fuck! What is
Fuck!
this shit?
Fuck!
You
Fuck!
go from yay to fuck!
I just started doing Rob Zombie lines right there, just over and over.
Shit,
So,
fuck, shit, fuck. That's how Rob Zombie wrote his dialogue.
That's actually how I came up with it. He watched this movie and he's just like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Give me a pencil, Sherry. Let's do this. All right. All right. Okay. I feel like there's gonna be some hate on this side of Sherry. I'm gonna tell you right now, I do like this movie. Is it great? Not by a fucking long shot.
I mean, really, it's not that terrible. It's just
It's standard
80s.
supernatural horror.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally like you know.
Terrible scene.
Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, these all came out, and this is just like, we're gonna just take elements that worked in those and just try to make it work in our movie. And
no. They said we're gonna take elements that worked in those and not use those.
It does center around this young boy, and he is literally, he's a metalhead, but it's like not the metal you guys like. It's like that 80s.
but
you know.
it's the
It's
kind of
the same
metalhead I
concept.
would have been if I
Okay,
grew up at that
alright.
time, you know.
And the thing is, like, he's apparently the only metalhead in the entire school.
I absolutely relate to that.
Yeah, and so, you know, he's picked on, he's bullied. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, just take a gun. It would have been better. It would have been a better movie, I think.
That wasn't the end thing to do.
Yeah,
in
in the 80s, you listen to a record backwards,
That's
summon,
the
you know, a demon, and then that's how you take care of your problem.
Yeah, once Columbine came out, it was
Right.
It was trendy.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Now we're gonna start bringing guns to school and
Oh
everything.
yeah.
I'll do
But
that.
so anyways,
Do not do that.
no, yeah. Unless you really want
If
to.
you
Anyways,
do, we didn't tell you to do it.
don't be Facebooking us after that happen, you know. No, but basically, so his favorite rock star is this guy named Sammy Kerr, who went to the high school he went to. And he just idolizes him, dude. And like he's writing like fucking fan mail, and he's
Love notes.
Yeah, it really is. And so, anyways, when he finds out early on that in fact the Sammy Kerr just died in a hotel fire, and this kid runs to his bed and he starts crying.
Throws a fit. He
And
throws a
jumps
hissy
on,
fit.
He does. He jumps on the bed, tears in the pillow, and I'm like, you know,
Rips down all his posters. Why the fuck
except for
would you do
Sammy
that?
Kerr.
Would you rip down all your posters?
No, I've spent way too much.
Exactly. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
So, anyway, after he has his little cry session, I mean, and the kid ain't a bad actor. I mean, I don't want to give he, for what it was written on the page, he delivered it. All right.
Yeah.
How can you really? I mean, I couldn't do it. I just be like, I ain't crying. We're done. I'm sorry. This is. Anyways, Gene Simmons is in there, and really, I thought he was in this more than he was. It's actually one scene.
After I watched
like
it
the
last
character
night.
is kind of throughout there, but they never
thing
show
is,
him.
But he
again.
had a big important role.
It was an important part.
It doesn't matter how long he was in the movie. I mean, he had an important role.
Important enough to get on the front cover of a picture
Yes,
taken
I
like
think so.
15
I think him being on the front cover makes a lot more sense than
No,
Ozzy.
that is one ugly motherfucker.
As
and I
always, like
hate
in his
kids.
actual like outfit, and not the actual.
And the thing-
Yeah, that's like a 1995 picture of Ozzy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that
Photoshop.
actually, like, in the beginning credits, it shows Gene Simmons as a main character, you know, and then it says
As a
appearances by Ozzy Osbourne. And the thing is,
they both count.
Ozzy's in it more than fucking Gene is, actually. Like, probably time on the screen.
Three different scenes. I counted 3 different scenes.
Yeah, and Gene's in it 1.
Yeah, 1. Okay. But anyways, he is the local DJ, hard rock DJ, and of course, when this kid who's already been getting picked on, you already see him get picked on, all this sort of shit. He goes to Nuke to talk about Sammy Kerr dead, and I guess before Sammy dies, he gives out this one last demo he cut. And it was going. I see he got banned from playing at the school, but it's like when we didn't play.
Sammy was supposed to come back to his hometown, to his school, and play a Halloween show.
But since rock and roll is the devil's music,
his school said nope.
Nope, can't have none of that. They say no. Well, his way around it was he's gonna send us a record.
I think they set him on fire.
And
I think the school. I think it was the school superintendent.
And so, anyways, they this has this record. But the thing is, it kind of makes you wonder, like, if maybe that was part of the plan anyways, like he's just gonna put his soul or whatever into the record and like, that's how I'm gonna get him back. Catch himself. Anyways, and of course Gene Simmons, being as cool as he is, he's just like, tell you what,
cool.
Just take the entire record stuff, and he knows the kid's a diehard fan.
No,
weird.
No, he goes, I got it on tape.
I got it on tape. I taped it. How dated this movie is.
I had to make that 80s reference.
And that was kind of weird. Like, the next scene is the next day. And the kid still listens to the record. I thought it was kind of weird. Like, if Rob Zombie dies, right then and there, I'm not even going to school the next day. I'm listening to this record.
I'm going to say, dude, fucking put it on right now.
Exactly. Let's jam right there now. But anyways, he plays it, and there is clearly, like, not like subliminally, there's actually like backwards talking. What do they call it? Like backwards masking or...
Yeah.
Anyways... But it's like, it's not like hidden. It's literally like that's what the track is.
Uncle Grave don't use those techniques. We tell you straight up to your face.
Yes.
To kill yourself.
So he plays it backwards, and then it starts talking to him. He starts getting connected, and it's Sammy Kerr's, I guess, spirit or demon or whatever. And then of course it's telling him to start taking action against the ones who At first it's kind of cutesy. Like he sets up a couple of the bullies, and they're chasing him, and
what's the actual quote? Something about let the fish hook themselves.
Yeah,
or something like
that. And but then it starts getting darker, and then of course now he's like Sammy Kerr's trying to kill these people, and the kid, I'm not gonna lie, I would just let him do it. I just be like, you know what, Sammy, you're right. These pricks have been fucking with me since kindergarten. Nail them on. That's what the phrase they use. Nail them. I'm like, fucking nail them on.
But it kills the hot chicks. I mean.
Dude, they were cunts.
Yeah.
And they were gonna grow up to be bigger cunts. Too. Yes, exactly. They're gonna grow up to be bigger cunts.
We all are like preppy little bitches like you.
Oh, what a fuckhead.
So anyways, but the kid has, he has a conscience. He's like trying to fight him off. I'm not gonna lie, at that point, like, there's a point where you think, like, it is done. Like, they destroy all the copies, but there is this one tape left. He has his friend destroy it. Friend doesn't destroy it.
I thought you were talking about the end already.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
At that point, though, it does just seem like now it's dragging on. Like, now I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like, let's do put a bow on this puppy and end it. And it doesn't seem like it's weak. Like, I'm like, if this guy is so powerful, he should be able to kill these dudes right off the bat.
Well, that's the thing. He can only come out when they're playing that record through
or recordings or whatever.
A speaker of some sort. So they're all playing individually first at the dance party.
Yeah.
Well, it first comes out the kid's house, the dance party, and then the main event is that they're doing the midnight Halloween premiere of the new album. So it's gonna be all over radio waves.
So he's trying to stop. And once again, at that point to me, I just felt like, okay, let's just try to end it. And it just kind of ends abruptly. Like when he does finally like drive the car to the river and they destroy the thing or whatever. It cuts to the scene of him. Now he's the DJ. I'm like, how the fuck this kid, who clearly now, like from a real life perspective, people are dead. And it's coming back to him, and yet he's got a job at the radio station. He's still in fucking high school.
He's
really?
okay with it.
I guess so. He's just like, I'm now the DJ. I'm like, really? And you cut the credits.
Did we say anything positive about it?
Yes.
Did we?
No. I like the. Now, I for one, I actually like the soundtrack. It's done by a band, Fast Way. It is like that generic 80s rock. It's nothing really catchy. Some of the opening song like it.
Like somebody cloned Motley Crue. It wasn't as good.
What's wrong? Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's like Multiplicity when like the fourth Michael Keaton is
it just kind of gets dumber
the fourth,
and dumber.
it's the fourth Michael Keaton band. Motley Crue is just like completely retarded.
I will say the one positive thing, at least that I enjoyed about it, was just the conjuring through music. I liked it.
I mean, it's a good concept.
Isn't that like a secret fantasy, like all like, especially like metalheads, like that they could
conjure Satan through,
or just their musicians,
Yeah.
you know, to come through.
And I
that.
think they probably really touched on it because during the '80s they had
Yeah,
real
that
problems
was
with that.
yeah.
It was when the first parental advisory came out.
Well, I mean,
for
that's
all that
Ozzy's
shit.
character on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does the Reverend, and it is a pretty good scene too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is kind of neat to
It's
see.
funny as hell seeing
Yeah.
Ozzy do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good stuff. But
Because he was
Saying it's
probably
just
under
evil
fire
music.
at
Yeah.
that time, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that with this movie, I wouldn't mind seeing this remade actually because it has the right story elements. It was just executed poorly. I think if you did this movie today, you could probably make it better.
who's the new nuke?
Who's the new nuke? Rob Zombie. I would have Rob Zombie.
I was actually thinking
Yeah,
the same thing.
awesome.
Rob, buddy,
I
you're
was
watching.
actually thinking.
We're gonna produce it. We're gonna
Manson as Ozzy's character.
And then Open Grave will do
Yeah.
the
soundtrack.
The soundtrack.
Yeah, it'd be death metal.
There'll be another Standing Curb. It'll be your vocals.
We're gonna have to go
really,
find some
so-
outcasts and high school.
I'll play Sammy Kerr.
He'll be Standing Curb.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that works.
but yeah, I'll say this. Because I know even when I see a movie I don't like, I always recommend it because I really think that you should watch it and form your own opinion. Because that's what makes it fun. I mean, if I was talking to people who've never seen this before...
I mean, we're giving it a lot of shit, but I mean, it's not a terrible,
It really isn't.
like, avoid this movie. I mean,
no.
it's,
I mean, I give it a slight thumbs
I watched
up.
it. You know,
Yeah.
honestly, I have a very, very short attention span, so it's hard for me to
Yeah,
make it through a movie.
it's not
if you
joking.
find it in the $2.99 bin at your local...
Grab it.
$5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah, dude, I mean,
If anything, it's worth a laugh with your
download
friends.
it.
Yeah.
Fucking Netflix, whatever. I mean, if you can find it, I mean, if you see it on TV, man, just watch it.
And I didn't even see it on back of here, but because they got like really short creds and they kind of washed it out.
It's in Platinum
But,
Dunes.
oh, Michael Baker's just back. Anyways, oh man. But the score, the actual score, not just the soundtrack, the score was done by Christopher Young, who did Hellraiser. And it's not bad. Once I read it, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't zoom in on that, and if I didn't see it, I wouldn't have zoomed in on it. But I'm like, oh, Christopher Young. So then I am paying attention to the score. And it actually is a pretty good score. And once again, that's the score, not the soundtrack. But it is a lot of fast way tearing up the airwaves on this thing.
Yeah, terrible.
One thing. Whenever Sammy Kerr was in court, did it remind any of you guys of like D. Snyder?
D. Snyder, yeah, the whole thing.
Well, I mean, I think
I think the whole thing was
I think the
mirroring.
whole thing was a
That's
play.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it was mirroring
yeah.
the whole,
That's what I was referring to. Is
Yeah,
like,
literally.
that's why I enjoyed it because
It is
I remember
weird.
all
You
the
would
controversy.
think more
Well,
musicians.
you weren't even fucking born.
I still fucking remember it.
He watched like VH1 Remember the 80s. Come on, he knows that
He
shit.
could hear it through his dad's mouth. Because you know your dad was watching
Absolutely.
It's weird. You
Fuck
would
this
think
shit.
more rock stars would have jumped on a project like this. You would think. I would think
I
anyway.
mean, yeah, I mean,
It just seems like they got
maybe
two people
maybe
who
they
just,
did. Maybe they was shopped to a lot of rock stars. They read the script though.
so
I gotta
we
go
got
on
other stuff to
tour.
do. And I will recommend stick around after the credits. There's a little extra scene with Ozzy as the Reverend on the thing. Nothing big. It's not important, but if you're that like I'm a kind of guy. I
Anytime
will,
there's an after the credits scene, you got you gotta
yeah.
bring it up.
You know what I always love though? I love when you're in a theater and you got like it's a full theater, but then like only like 5 people stay after to see, and then when they see it, you hear the same thing. That was it. Like, what did you want? Like a whole other movie? I mean, seriously? Like you just want to be like after the credits, like now here's the real story. You're like, holy shit, another hour of
No matter
film.
what the movie is.
Yeah, it's
no matter
always-
what, check it out.
yeah.
No matter what the movie is, do you? No matter what genre, because
Yeah.
I know you do dabble in other genres.
I do. I'm a movie fan. I'm not just a horror fan. So.
Do you stay after the credits
Every
regardless?
Every day. In fact, me.
And maybe even a tad disappointed if there's not that extra minute. Or two.
Yeah, I am. Because tell me now, credits today are just ridiculously
I will sit
long.
there and still
Yeah,
be kicked back,
always.
eat my popcorn through the fucking credits.
I won't drop his real name, but me and F-Dub watched the movie together. And literally, as soon as the first directed by, he's up and he ran. Like, I never seen this guy move fast ever, but he's already out the theater. And I'm just like, really, dude? And I sat there and waited for the whole thing. I'm
Is he
thinking
a
maybe.
smoker?
No,
Oh, damn it.
F-Dub. You know F-W.
You know him. We'll take
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah.
Anyways, so we, but anyway, yeah, I finished the movie. I walk out there and he's like, fucking Lincoln's gone. I'm like, really, man? Already gone? And so, but yeah, I am the guy. I will sit there and wait after credits. So yeah, except when I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh,
we
wow.
ran-
Did you really have to?
Oh, you guys don't know this?
You have ruined
Oh my
your-
god! Yeah,
I knew it.
Phantom Mark came out and confessed to his fans. His fans are very forgiving. I will say that.
It does get dark and cold in
Oh
that
god,
closet.
it is. But that movie, I was just like, all right, we're good. We've seen enough. I waiting on. Recommend we stay over. So, so Trick or Treat. I'm saying check it out. If you like just standard 80s horror, because it really is. I mean, there's nothing really special about it. It is just like the most generic 80s horror. It just has the 2 stars, the 2 leads, Ozzy and Wayne. So, yeah. I love the back, too. The back's not even like actual shots of the movie. It's like behind the scenes shots. Like the only shots is like this one down here, but the rest of them are just like, it's like Gene posing, and you actually like, you know.
Oh, that's great.
Like the special effects.
That's what I did. That's funny. They had that scene on the back when he rips the chick out of the TV. Why is she a midget?
That's a good question. Because she's small on TV. Because people are small on TV.
Yeah.
They're watching TV, they're like one this big. So
Supernatural.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
All right.
The question is, did she die in real life though? Was he just pulling a weird?
I know, because he also didn't he like take off?
Yeah, Ozzy's facing.
Yeah.
These are good questions. We need to call the writer. I know they're not doing shit right now. I guarantee they're probably doing their own little fucking YouTube show where we used to be writers. All right, so boom. I guess that's about it. You guys got anything to add?
Well, I just wanted to say, because you said something about liking the score of the movie, and since you refuse to have like any kind of question for your users, and I think they're your users, your viewers.
My viewers, yes, my viewers.
They do use you.
They do use me, yes.
But I mean,
the 5 that are watching.
I mean, it's saying top 3, but I mean, you know, score in horror movies. I mean, since we're still kind of on the subject of music, I mean, like.
No, we did this before, I believe, actually. Or not us, but.
Okay.
But I think I asked the top 3, and a lot of them came up with like Halloween, obviously.
I like the Halloween 4 score better.
Really?
Yep.
I gotta disagree. I'm a purist. I love that. Dun, dun, dun.
But all that shit's still in the Halloween 4 scores.
Yeah, but it feels like it's real though. Like it just seems like it's just.
I'm the kind of guy that'll say that a cover version of a song is better than
it
the
happens.
original
It does
all
happen.
the time.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
We just
all the time. I don't know about all the time, but sometimes.
check out 1600's Graveyard Classics too.
With the ACC stuff.
It is Back in Black, track for track.
Oh yeah.
AC/DC, but I'll do that.
Well, I love ACDC. They're great. Huh? They did the soundtrack for Maximum Overdrive. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Come on, guys. Huh? Stephen King's first and only directorial debut.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. For Simon Terrell. And I want to thank my 2 guests last week. I didn't thank them yet. He's always thank them. Next week. Pumpkin Face, Robert Chaney. I want to thank you guys for having me over at the Chicken House. Much appreciated. Dude, they got fans. I'm not gonna lie.
How is that chicken? I'm gonna have to get down to that chicken house sometime.
Dude, it's insane. I'm not gonna lie. Well, you need to come by the cemetery sometime. You gotta get out of the studio. You get a chicken house right there. You got the cornfield on the other side. It's not bad, guys. You guys are always welcome right there. So
it looks cool.
It's not bad. It's not shabby. All right. Well, I guess that's it. We're gonna head on out of here. So we'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, man. Open grave.
Link down below. Where the hell's the? This is all being recorded.